Thank you, Michael. So I already made you the host because we
Okay.
are live. Okay, thank you. If you
Sure.
can make me your co-host too.
Okay, done.
Hey, thank you.
Hello, Sherry.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome back again. Okay. Right. Hello, Carol Sue. Carol Sue, can you hear me? Are you there?
Yes, I am here. How are you?
I'm fine. I often see you book but often you don't come in. That's a long time since I've seen you.
No, I know because the thing is, it's late taken for me because I usually been up since 4 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. Okay. That explains it. Okay. No, that's great, but welcome.
I fall asleep.
Okay. Okay. And then we've got Carol Lynn. Okay, so we've got Carol Sue and Carol Lynn. Hello, Carol Lynn.
Hi, it's Carolyn, and sometimes people pronounce it Caroline, but it doesn't matter either way.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm from California.
Okay, so it's not too late for you now.
Oh no, it's only 6 in the evening, so
3 hours.
a post dinner.
Okay, okay. Oh, that's a nice time. Excellent. Pleased to hear that time. So, Carolyn, what brings you to this particular class?
Well, I'm a retired teacher like your wife after 33 years. And as you said in your last class, sometimes you lose your sense of purpose in retirement. And it's like, okay, now what? And so I was thinking of traveling and maybe taking some of my school expertise and using it like in Mexico or someplace like that. I spent 2 years in Kenya teaching in a boarding school for missionary kids. And in fact, I think a couple from Australia there even. So that was, so I've been somewhat adventuresome, but then I went through a bout with cancer and I'm cancer free now, but that kind of put some whoops on things.
Right, right. That does. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Have you attended? I don't recall if you attended my microgreen class where I spoke about certain microgreens that are really good for post-cancer recovery and so on.
No, I've seen it listed. I tell you what, I had the cancer when I was 65 and that was in 2014. And I'm cancer free, but my eating habits are not up to par. And so I'm saying I've been very fortunate because that one passed and there was no side effects from it. But I'm probably pushing the envelope if I don't start getting out of the sugars.
Definitely. Cancer thrives on sugars, but come to my microgreen class, all right?
Okay.
Come to my microgreen class.
I've seen it, so I'll look it up on the Times.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. All right. So welcome, Noreen. Don't turn your camera off.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. And how are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Okay. For those of you who can leave your cameras on, please leave them on. It's great talking to people. But if you can't for some reason, that's okay too. So yeah, we've got Kim with us at the moment, and Kim, I see there are people. I didn't know we had a waiting room going. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Okay. So welcome to Kim, who's our TA support. So if you have any issues of any description, then Kim is here to support that process. And so just text her in the chat page, and she can help you with whatever you want for this class and also things outside of this class. Okay. And we've got Joan. Hello, Joan. Welcome.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And how are you?
Still recovering.
Okay. You're not going to put your camera on either, are you? Anyway, let me leave you. Sherry, thanks for keeping your camera on. You did yesterday as well, the class 1. So I appreciate that, and Noreen as well. So, but Noreen, you got to sit in front of the computer so you can listen to me. I'm a naughty boy.
I'm listening.
You're listening. That's good.
I am. I'm multitasking.
Okay, something a man can't do. Okay, Laura, nice to see you back. Okay.
Yeah, I'm back again. I'm
Yeah.
going to move to a different location, so I'm going to shut down for a minute.
Okay, that's fine. All right. So some of you, not all of you, were in yesterday's class 1, the developing of the idea, and now this is the second. Others have probably arrived with an idea, and we're going to take that process forward. So we start, as is customary. I think everybody that's in class has been in one of my previous classes, so it's not necessarily essential to introduce myself, but I am in Perth, and the timing seems so much better now than it used to do in the middle of your winter, and so it's super doing a process where time is now not too bad. I know some of you have been in my classes at midnight, falling asleep. So it's great to have you here, and that's the main thing. So we're going to move on, and we're going to do class 2. Now, class 2 is taking the idea that we did in class 1, or possibly you've already had the idea and it was quite, and you've decided to skip class 1 and you've come to class 2. There are 5 classes, starting on Monday at this time and going all the way through to Friday. So there are 5 classes at the same time every day. So keep that in mind. And the idea is to take your idea that you formulated in class 1 through into class 2, 3, 4, and then we discuss it in class 5 on well, it'll be your Thursday evening, my Friday. All right, so are there any questions just to start the ball rolling right now from either the last class, or some of you took a class last week and have come back now, and that's great. So anything that I can clear up before we start this class? Okay, and remember, feel free to leave your mic, unless you've got background noise, leave your microphones off and you can just chat. Otherwise, you just press down the space bar and it will clear your microphone. Okay, so the first question that I want you to ask yourself from having an idea, okay, to who will benefit from your idea. Okay, remember now, we in our senior years, we've been through the career thing and making money and buying houses and looking after children and getting them off to school and so on. We've done all that. Okay, now we're going to be doing something that will benefit somebody else. Okay, we will benefit because it'll be a nice, good, warm feeling of purpose. But so you need to start the process now of getting your idea and getting started with this particular question: who will benefit? Now, you all have different purposes, and some of you have shared previously about your purpose and ideas, and one of you already has said, perhaps I'd like to travel the world and then share their experiences so that, maybe school children can benefit, or maybe encourage other people to travel from your sharing, and because you have an absolute love for traveling. And so you can use that and share that information, and that could be your purpose, and to go exploring the world. Go where no man or woman has gone before. Okay, so or otherwise you could be fighting the declining conditions of our planet, the weather conditions or whatever it is. You might like to research and communicate that in the way that we're going to start choosing the manner in this class and in tomorrow's class. So making something, could be absolutely, because you work with your hands, and so you take that thought also into this idea, into this question. So everybody's worried about climate change. So, okay, what can you do to help people, make them more aware? Because there's a lot behind climate change that the media never talks about. Okay, so there's lots to research and read, and that might be what you want to know. But your purpose or your passion, your idea is going to make you happy. It's going to make you contented because it's your passion. Okay, it is what we do and what we want to do. Okay, and the reason could be to make a positive impact on society as we move forward from this type of society that we've all grown up in and worked in, and we lead, as seniors, we lead the world into a new world, a new dimension where people care about people, okay, where people are no longer greedy for money, okay. Sustainability, financially and otherwise, becomes the sort of the word that is used as opposed to greed. So who will benefit from your idea as we move forward? Because as you can see on your screen now, true happiness and fulfillment comes from giving back and helping others. And now we in that position, that's our role as seniors now. We need, in order for us to get happy, and maybe in some sort of way it's selfish, but if we give in back and helping others now, we are going to feel fulfilled. So who do you want to help? Okay, who will benefit from your idea? Okay, that's the first question in this class. So how do you want to help? Do you want to do it via teaching or charities or freelancing, blogging. We touched on some of those yesterday in the class, and we'll talk some more today about it as well. The bottom line is each of us are unique, absolutely unique, and only you can be you. But we so often, particularly when we were going through our career, we were doing things that weren't us. It was a job, okay? It was a means to an end, okay? We finished that. That's behind us now. We are going to be doing that things that only we can do in our way. It might be the same topic or something that somebody else is doing, but we're doing it uniquely in our way. So that was question one. So now let's move forward to perhaps the fundamental thing that really needs to be done in this class, okay? Where do you start with achieving your purpose? And this was where you start. You see that person standing up in front of an audience? What you've got to now do is create a 10-minute talk in order to address the world. What would you talk about? So you've got to take your purpose, you've got to take your idea, okay, and you've got to create a speech. And it's going to be roughly 10 minutes, and it's going to bring together everything that you want in your purpose in life. Now, if you had the class yesterday and you came through, you've got the purpose and more. If you weren't in the class yesterday and you've arrived with a purpose today, then you need to now create a 10-minute speech about you. You don't necessarily have to give it to anybody, but you need to create it, need to write it down. And it would be great if you could speak it loud to your flowers in the garden, or on a Zoom recording, which is only you in the meeting, and you record yourself, just to get the whole substance going, to get the subconscious involved in what this is all about. You're not doing it for somebody else to listen to, you're doing it for yourself. So it starts to allow you to find the path that will bring you to a full potential, okay? And it's the impact that you're going to make on life is this particular exercise, because you're going to become clear, because you are going to make an impact. That's part of the purpose, okay? But it might be an impact just to one person, that's fine, okay? But you need to see it as a planetary thing, that you're now telling the entire population on Earth what you are going to talk and what is your purpose about, okay? So that is now the next step, is to do that 10-minute talk. Then, as we move forward now, and we start achieving our purpose, okay, we need to find that path that allows us to reach our fullest potential and be the greatest version of ourselves, okay? And we'll look at methods now as we look forward, but I want you to be able to, as you see in that image, okay, there you've got a kitten looking into a mirror and a lion is looking back. You need to find that lion, that courage within you to move forward, okay, and to be the fullest potential of yourself that you can. And the process, hopefully, if you do the steps that we're talking about and moving forward, you will get that courage. That courage will come. So the first thing that you need to do is to start with take that 10-minute chat that you've created, and then you'd bring that down to a one sentence, okay? call it what you like, okay? It's a purpose impacting one sentence. Could be an elevator speech. There are lots of cliches around over the last 50 years about the one sentence, but it's really a purpose impacting one line. So you're taking your purpose and you're taking an aspect of your purpose, okay? And you're now saying something that is relative to your purpose in one sentence, okay? But always remember to focus on your big picture. Always remember to focus on your purpose and why you have created that purpose that we did yesterday in the class. The why is important. So keep your thoughts positively on the big picture, and then your subconscious will come through for you, okay? So one sentences, there are lots of examples out there. If you wanted to go and Google, you can just call them elevators, but because that's what Google knows them as. But preferably if you can get without doing that, the better, okay? Because you might be influenced by somebody else's word or something like that. You want this to be uniquely yours, okay? So it's very important to get that one sentence up and running so that you know that is an aspect of introducing your purpose to the world, okay, is that one-liner. And so you're able to use that one-liner in social media as we're going to talk about and move forward. You're going to be there with your one-liner, but you're also going to be there in other ways with your 10-minute speech, 10-minute speech as well. All right, so please remember to focus on the big picture at all times. It's so easy to find ourselves going off at a tangent. And then we find, oh, goodness me, we're talking about things and doing things too that really had nothing to do with our purpose. So it's important to keep it in your environment. I said this yesterday in the class, keep it in your environment. Keep your purpose maybe in a framed picture on the wall or wherever you're working. So when you get up to make tea, you can see it and you read it. When you arrive at your desk, you can read it, okay? So it's important to always be aware. Otherwise, you will go off at a tangent. Now, we're going to look at various channels of communication in this class. And oops, we've got some background noise there. Here we are. All right, seems to have gone now. Kim, are you listening for the background noise? Okay. All right, so first of all, I want to bring sort of a very broad picture that I want you to understand. You've got a purpose, you've got an idea, and you want to get started with it. Okay, now, start first of all. There are, historically, when we were doing things and going out there into the world, there was the physical one-to-one meeting where you would go and meet somebody and you would try and sell them something, or you would try and share your purpose or share your intention or find a partner. But it is a one-to-one physical meeting that you took, and that can still be relevant as far, depending on what you were doing. If you want to, your purpose is to build tiny houses in a community, you may have to go and see community leaders and physically talk to them. So depending on your purpose, one-to-one meeting might be something that you will include as you move forward. Then you've got the second thing on the screen, personal interactive. So, a phone call, a Zoom call, a Google Meet call, or targeted social media to specific groups in social media. and then interacting within those groups. So that is personal interactive, which you'll probably do some of that as well, okay, as we move forward. The third on the screen is impersonal interactive. Now that is email and social media generally. Okay. Now they both play an important part. I know some people, I heard somebody this morning say, email is the thing of the past. No, it's not a thing of the past, not at all. It is very relevant still. I still send out weekly emails to do with health and natural health of what I've researched and what people just don't know about, okay? But science knows about it. And so I still send out those emails. I still do the emails. My purpose is just to give the knowledge out there. I'm not selling anything. I want to do that because I healed myself from that. And I want to share that with other people. So I still use email, and I use my own website to write articles on it, put articles on and link the articles to various. And then I use social media to send people back to my articles and just with the link, where it's relevant. So social media and email, it's impersonal, okay, because it's going out generally, but there is still something there that you may need to consider whatever your purpose is. Remember, I don't know, everyone that's here today, I don't know what your purpose is unless you've shared it with me, and one and two of you have, okay? So then you get the impersonal static, which is, sending out email letters and reports and newsletters just generally, okay? That has sort of reduced and is not as popular, but there are certain times where it is important. So these are things you need to just be aware of and think about them, okay? So now, how to take your first step in your communication strategy. Now, the first line that I've put on that slide is, you're no longer marketing at people, okay? Those days are gone. And we grew up in those days where people constantly through, buy my product, it's the best, it'll help you get healthy, it will do it, buy that. That doesn't work now in May 2021, okay? What works now is something completely different. It's about building relationships now, okay? And so you need to be thinking very carefully about how you communicate on social media. Very, very very, very important to think about it and to listen, and possibly, find some people talking about it. Some of you in the class today have listened to Tony Robbins out there, very famous, very well known. That is what you're looking for. You're looking for a way to communicate that is uniquely you, okay? And it's not about selling, okay? If you want to move forward with your purpose and your idea, okay, even though you have a product or a service to sell, you don't move forward selling it, okay? You don't, okay? So I'm going to come back to that, and we will be talking about that in future classes as well, is basically how to communicate, and the techniques that you should be looking, and the underlying foundations that fundamentally is about building relationships before somebody will buy, all right? So it's important to focus on prioritizing communication channels, and we're going to be talking about a little bit more about that now in this class, and we'll talk about it in tomorrow's class as well. So your task is to advance the user engagement as a starting point. How to take your first step? User engagement, relationship building, and to work on the customer's experience. That's where you must start. You must start engaging people in whichever way you are now going to choose through this class, but probably most of you will be through social media. So you need to get a following in social media in order to find other people who are interested in your purpose, people who are related. They just feel excited when they find out a little bit more about your purpose and your way of moving forward. So maybe we should just stop there and just check whether are there any questions so far? Don't forget, you can unmute yourself quite easily.
No questions.
Thanks, Laura. You're the TA.
Just want to share. Just want to help.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine.
I tried the space bar and it didn't unmute me, so I don't know what was up with that.
Okay, who was that? Carolyn,
That's
was it?
me, yeah, Carolyn.
Okay. Kim?
But it's okay. I just clicked on another button and it did unmute. So
Okay, that's good.
Microphone.
All right, as long as you know how to get it on, that's fine. Otherwise, Kim can help you privately with how to do that, or maybe your device can't do it. I'm not sure whatever device it is, because I work on a computer or a laptop, and it always works then. But
I'm on a Mac Air laptop.
oh, a Mac. Yeah, Macs are different. Okay, I have never worked on a Mac. Okay, and they are different. And I know sometimes when you enter on a Mac, it like clears the screen, and so
Yep, been there, done that.
Fair enough, and you know what I'm talking about. Just a friend has told me when he was first learning to use Mac. Okay, so let's get back into the process, yeah, let's just recap on the screen, because we often just don't get it. Okay, and we go back into old habits. Don't mark it into people's faces about your purpose, okay, or your idea. Okay, you've got to encourage them with subtle information about and around your purpose and your idea. So please, keep that one in mind, because there are all sorts of different ways, that you possibly going to use. The future, they talk about the smartphone, okay, and that is now going to be the future of all our types of communication, and it's here. We're doing it, okay, and maybe you're going to use that for your interactive messaging to build relationships. But remember that there's always an artificial intelligence behind everything. So you're getting all sorts of input, and it can be positive with the artificial intelligence, because it's bringing people who are clicking on similar types of things to what your reason is and your motivation is. Okay, but whether you're using smartphones or not using smartphones, it really doesn't matter. Now, on your screen, I'm going to there are two ways that you can move forward with your idea. One is to use a micro-influencer. Now, a micro-influencer, I'll show you pictures on the next slide of typical micro-influencers. They are people who've been there, done that, and you get their help, okay? And yeah, there'll be a fee to pay, but it's 11 times more effective, statistically, I'm told, than advertising, okay? So that's a very, very big difference. So as you move forward, you no doubt will be looking at ways, if you're going to spend money, one of the things that I'm urging you to look at is an influencer, even before you look at advertising. Here are some pictures of influencers. The one is 99 years old now, having been doing this for 10 or 15 years. So, somewhere in the mid 80s, she was there. and but they're all over 80 years old. Okay, and they're still going. They all have 1 million followers. You can look them up on Instagram. Okay, but we will talk about them in the 4th class a little bit more, and look at their history and look at the tips that they're giving us as well in class 4. So they're out there. Okay. Then the other option besides using an influencer is to do it yourself. Okay. Yes, it's a process. It's a slow process, but slow. So what? We've got another 30 plus years in our life to be able to focus on our purpose and to move forward. All right. So, you know, okay, maybe Laura, you've got 50 more years, you know, but
I'm still cracking up. Are you telling us it's going to take us 20 years?
No, what I'm saying is in the new world that we are moving and taking the rest of the world with us, the youngsters with us, we can't rush it. Okay, we've got to find what is uniquely ours, what works for us, and it could work within 3 or 4 months, 3 or 4 years, but it will work. Okay, if you do it as uniquely you. Okay, because that energy that you have got, if you're not mimicking somebody else, will gather momentum, and then it's just about how much effort and time you put in on a daily basis after that. And so you could be very quick with that. So option 2 is do it yourself and choose one social media site to start with. Okay. And don't forget what I said earlier in this class, you know, word of mouth marketing, talking one-on-one with people, doing podcasts. Okay, podcasts are another area which we will touch on, and don't throw away as you got followers like I have. If they come to you and you collect the email address, then, you know, don't forget the email marketing as part and parcel of doing it yourself. But doing it yourself, there are a lot of areas we're going to look at, and we're going to move forward with some of those areas. I just don't want you to lose sight. And don't forget, you can order a recording of this in order to maybe go back and just check on a couple of things. Okay, and it's a good way to just recover and make notes, and not so much of what's on the screen, but perhaps what's being said. And so yeah, then you've got it also on your computer for months to come. But the recording will disappear from Get Set Up within quite a short period of time. All right, so we need to choose one social media site to start with. Okay, don't try and, you know, throw it all out there, all over the place. Do a little bit on Snapchat, a little bit on TikTok, a little bit on Instagram, a little bit on Facebook, a little bit here, there, and everywhere. No. Okay.
Focus.
You're going to, sorry, somebody said something?
Focus.
Focus. And to focus, you need to get to one social media site that you start with. Okay, even if you know nothing about it, it just attracts you. Follow that attraction, because that is your subconscious moving in a direction. Maybe you listen to somebody talking about one of the social medias, let's say like TikTok, and you think, wow, okay, I could do that. Or no, you know, Instagram is much more calmer, and so you decide from a feeling which one you go to. Okay, at this stage, you can add some more. So as Laura says, focus on, once you have chosen on a medium, focus on one. Okay, so what I particularly, I like Instagram. Okay, and I do a class on Instagram, a basic class, not a business class, not one necessarily to take your idea forward. I'm hoping Get Set Up will allow me to do that in coming months, but it's not there now. I just do an overview of Instagram. So if you're not new with Instagram, then don't come. But if you are new, then come to the class, and we'll talk about Instagram. So Now, so let's assume that you've now chosen your step. Let's call it Instagram, okay? You might have chosen Facebook, okay, or one of the others, okay? The first thing you need to do is to start developing content. Now, content is stuff that you are going to post forever and a day, but you always have a storeroom of posts. You always have maybe 10 days of posts or 20 days of posts waiting there just to be tweaked. You've researched the information, maybe you've copied and pasted it onto a Word document or whatever, and you now just need to tweak it according to you and be uniquely you, okay? Never paste something that you've copied verbatim. Make it your own. So very important, all right? So you start developing this this holding of content, okay? This content is going to be talking about benefits around your purpose, benefits around your purpose, not necessarily about the purpose directly, but depending on what it is, it could be. But you want to be talking about encouraging people. You want to build relationships with information that they don't feel threatened with. This is now free information about whatever your idea is that you're moving out there. So you start putting together these short contents, and you also start looking for images, free images, okay? You just Google free images and you'll come up with all sorts of images. I use unsplash.com, and those are all free. The whole site is free, and they are very high quality, but you can't always find what you're looking for because it's a limited sort of one comment, whereas Google, of course, has access to the whole world's photographs and things. So you start collecting these, and slowly you start posting them onto Instagram. But Instagram requires a picture first or a video, then the text. So it's a very beautiful.
Do you use again? Which one do you use a lot?
I use Instagram a lot.
No, the Google free images.
The Google free, sorry. Unsplash, it's called Unsplash. You know, splash in the water? Unsplash. Yeah, okay. Just Google it. Just Google Unsplash, and it will come up top of the list. Or near the top of the list anyway, yeah. So this is like introducing yourself and your business and your idea and your purpose onto the social media you've chosen, onto Instagram, let's say. And it's a start, and that's what you want. You actually want to make a start now. You don't want to go flat out where you try and do everything in one day and do lots of postings. And you want to just make a start. You want to get into some type of rhythm that is uniquely yours, okay? Now, some people might post twice a day, others once a day, others once a week, but get into a rhythm and stick with that rhythm to start with, okay? We'll talk at future classes about how to maintain that momentum and maybe how to increase it. But start where you can start with ease. It must be simple, okay? It mustn't be anything but fun. It must be fun, okay? So yes, you're starting now to introduce yourself to the world, okay? And to whoever is going to listen to you. And yes, there are different accounts on Instagram, and there are a Get Set Up class. There's somebody who does marketing using Instagram. Go and take his class or her class. And I do just an introduction to the whole of Instagram, just showing you where everything is basically. And so there are different accounts you can have on Instagram, like a business account, a personal account, an influencer account. But start with a personal account anyway. If you've not been there before, if you're on Instagram for years and you're familiar with it, well, then go for it with a business account. And but get the advanced class and moving forward there. Now, before we look at the summary, let's just talk about any questions that are now part and parcel of you.
You will enjoy, Michael, that I'm listening to this on my Mac Air at the same time using an HP computer to type the notes.
Okay. That's great, Carolyn.
ADHD.
Yeah, absolutely. That's super. So have you done any Instagram work or Facebook work?
Nope. Nope.
Okay.
My tech is I hand my phone to some young person and say, how do you do this?
No, 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 no. No, this is uniquely you. Things have got to work in your words, your time. Those words have got to have your energy in them. Okay. And so start learning. I don't
I
mind.
know. That's why I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. That's great. I'm glad. And so what about the rest of you? Okay. What are you feeling? We've gone through quite a lot that you've got to think about and got to maybe implement, but what thoughts are coming to mind? Anybody?
What do you think of Twitter?
Twitter is powerful. Okay. I'm on Twitter, but I don't use it a lot. I use it for one particular purpose. Because somebody that I follow seriously always tweets when they are going online to do what I want to watch them do, and then I pick it up that way. But politicians they make their mark with Twitter, okay, and so do famous people. Really, they're there, and so it's not difficult to do. But again, it's also something that takes some of your time. You must be sure, is that what you want to do? I wouldn't do it as a primary social media platform, but I would do it certainly as a secondary.
What would you use as a primary?
I would use Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah, it's one of the fastest growing. And it fits with who I am. Okay, the way it resonates with me. You know, probably a faster growing one is TikTok, and you could use TikTok, but it just doesn't fit with me. With you know, even though older people like Tom Jones market themselves on TikTok, and so they sing their songs on TikTok and they get a following on
Wow.
TikTok.
Wow.
You know, it's generally known for younger people under 30 years old, and so that probably includes you, Laura. But you know,
Oh yeah.
So
Okay. What about Facebook?
Facebook is the old favorite, okay? It's powerful, it's big, it's got 2.7 billion users.
Wow.
And so it's also a good place. You know, at my age, I'm allowed the privilege of discretion, okay? And you know, I haven't enjoyed what Facebook has been doing in the last year. With its algorithms and its banning of people and the way it's focusing on certain political aspirations,
Agendas.
Yeah. So I used to use, you know, 10 years ago, probably, or 5 years ago, I used to use Facebook, and I used to spend quite a lot of money on the business side of it. But I now, even though Facebook owns Instagram, and it does, okay, I guess it's one of those compromises that I have to make until I find something better, okay. And so, but fortunately, I'm not selling anything at the moment, and my purpose is Get Set Up. I just love Get Set Up, so I'm really focused now. So I'm re-looking at that whole process for myself. Maybe share gets set up with the world on the classes that I do, and they're busy
Right.
but they're busy changing my classes very fast at the moment, and so I haven't got a clear track. I just love doing this business class or this purpose class, these 5 classes. So I'm trying to encourage them to allow me to do similar ones that tack onto this. So we have a collection.
Good idea. I think there is a class that looks at all of the Facebooks and all of them together. There's 4 or 5 different social medias.
Yeah.
For people that don't know anything else.
Yeah. Well, then I encourage people to go to those classes and look at them and take them and get a feeling, because as much as Laura doesn't want to go for another 5 years thinking about this, go there now, find something and stick with it. Okay. Just, even if you stick with it for a year and see how it goes, give yourself at least a year with the one that you've chosen. But go to these various classes. And as I say, there's one on TikTok, there's one on Snapchat, there's one on Facebook. Well, there's lots on Facebook. And there are a couple on Instagram. And then, for that, I also use Pinterest, not for this purpose. I use Pinterest for a whole different reason of storing information and that I find over time. So it's like a scrapbook for me. It works very well in that purpose, but not for, it doesn't work for me for marketing or sharing or building a following. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But remember, it's only me. It's only my opinion. Okay. And at the end of the day, you got to say, who's he? Okay.
No. We'll say he's our superstar, our guardian, our guide.
I did it because he said so.
Yeah, he told me to do it. He said it would be best.
I hope I'm not an influencer. You must go to the influencers to be influenced.
Okay, I do want to ask about the influencers. What do they do? You say they're not advertising, but how are they influencing?
Okay, now they are people like you and me. Okay, and they're seniors. I'm talking about senior influencers. You do get kiddie influencers as well, but you get senior influencers. These are people who have started out with an idea, with a purpose, started getting a following, and 2 of the 3 that I showed you, the 2 ladies, never had any intention of growing to over 1 million followers. Okay. They didn't have, maybe the guy who is, you don't know if you recognize him, but he was Sulu from Star Trek. And so he's got a passion for following his things that he wants to advertise and market to and so on. It's a concept, okay? So he promotes what he believes in very strongly, which the majority of the population possibly don't, or so he pushes those sort of topics,
but then is he actually advertising?
Yes, he is. Okay, because he is not advertising. What he is doing, he is getting followers based on his idea. Now he's got these followers, and you said it. A couple of you said it a few moments ago. Okay, but in a different context. I think you were referring to me. But if you put anything onto an influencer's posting, people just go out and buy it. Finished and clear. That's it. Okay. Well, if he uses it, if he recommends it, I'm gonna use it. That's where it's 11 times more effective than advertising. Okay. Because it doesn't seem like advertising. He's just saying, I use this hair cream. It really strengthens my hair and it does this, does that. Wait, the next day the shops are sold out of that hair cream. Okay. So, or they buy it online.
You know what? You're telling me the younger generation isn't as smart as the older one?
No, the younger generation.
Wait a minute. We know that when Joe Smith is on there, and he tells us that I found this new product at the grocery store and I just love it. You mean to tell me they don't know that he's getting paid by advertisers to say that?
It doesn't, people don't use their logic.
That's just what I'm saying. Is that
That's
what you're
called
sharing?
the
with me?
Kardashian effect.
Yes.
They don't have.
Okay, so we don't call it advertising then anymore.
No, advertising is still advertising. You know, you place an advert, you go onto Facebook and onto Instagram, you see lots of advertising, okay? And it says now, sponsored, okay? So it's a posting that's sponsored and it'll take you straight to, you know, their shop or their website and in that particular post. So they do that. But the influencer, now, if you just take these two old women that I showed you on the picture there, okay, is that, you know, the one is 99, the other one is in the late 80s, and they are making bucks, okay. If that was then it wasn't their intention, okay. They're now moving away to try and not get so much attention, but it's done. People are searching for them and finding them, and they're both into fashion in a way, okay. So fashion for senior people, and so and yeah, they've got now, of course, they've got companies sponsoring them just to do posts. So these things evolve, okay.
Oh yeah.
But they all started like you and me in May 2021. You know, how do we post? Okay. I mean, the one didn't even want to post. The granddaughter posted a picture of her. Okay. And that's where it started. So it's quite interesting. Class 4, I think it is, that we cover a little bit of their history and look forward to. So yeah. Any other questions or comments before we bring it to an end?
Michael, I actually put a note on the chat box about Laura's question about advertising. You know, the influencers saying they're not advertising. It's actually a strategy wherein they would say it's not an advertisement, it's something I use. It's because the people would say, he genuinely used the product, so it's like a strategy for them, but technically they're paid to use the product. So
that's my point. We're just playing with words now. So now we're calling it influencing, and before we called it
True.
advertising. But that's okay. I got it. That's why I'm saying, is this the younger generation's name for advertising? Being facetious about it. No, I
Also,
get it.
to add that,
Laura, we're gonna watch
Yeah.
for what you're wearing tomorrow.
Good. Okay. Influencing. Oh, did you notice these buttons? Jumpsuits. I'm into jumpsuits, ladies. They're the most comfortable ever.
Hey.
Laura, do you want to become an influencer?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm up next, girls.
You become an influencer. So Kim,
Okay,
yeah, thanks for
enough.
sharing. Okay, now we're all going to just say cheers now.
Thank
But,
you. Thank you.
Yeah, but thanks, Kim, for coming in. It's really nice. So just in summary, you will get an email from me after the show, and it will show you the summary we put there. And the next class is tomorrow, the same time, and each day until the end, until you've done the 5, okay, depending on where you come from. But you will get an email. So thank you very much, and see you.
Thank you,
tomorrow,
Michael.
I hope. Bye.
As usual.
Thank you. Have a good
Goodbye,
evening.
ladies. Have a nice night.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. You too.
bye everyone.